I don't know how many of you guys replied. Some people were like, hey, this is me. I'm in. Like, how do I do these exercises? If anybody wants to come off mute and talk about the reasons why this is either accurate or inaccurate, let me know. Jen, are you reaching for the mute? There you go. Okay, good.
I'm not very, sometimes I'm not tech savvy.
You're good.
Well, you've always said that you can't spot reduce one area. So I think that was the consensus on all the comments.
Yes, I
But
know. People didn't fall
totally
for my
makes
trap.
sense to, which totally makes sense to me, because I would think you need to, change your whole body comp for that to happen. With my stomach area is
Yep.
the proof in the pudding for that one.
My love handle is that way. My love handles are the last thing that go. And literally, I would have to be down to 3-4% for me to be even happy with what they look like because of my frame, just how I store my body fat in my actual frame. So that's always my weak point. But because that is for 90% of Americans anyway, this brought up some things in the thread that I was really interested in, was the emotional attachment to that issue. I have that and I hate it. I have that and I've always been trying to get rid of it. I've had that. So that's where the marketing comes in. If I can hook you with, hey, you're going on a vacation and you still have that armpit fat. Okay. Now this just happens to be an Instagram account. And as I was searching for the next picture that's coming up, it seems to be this from the same person. So either they have, like, they are literally preying on people who are emotionally attached to this kind of false advertising, and they might be selling a weight loss pill. They might be selling workouts, or I don't know what they're doing, but it's dangerous because they're just saying, hey, like, I'm going to take the spot that you hate the most and I'm going to exploit it. I'm going to tell you how you can fix it, which normally that would be a great thing if the fix it was actually the thing that worked. Now, here's where it does work. For me, now that I'm 45 years old, I have like some skin underneath my chest that I don't like very much. Okay, so it kind of, it's good. I mean, you guys can all, maybe not, maybe you guys can't, but if I do weight training and lift my chest, if I increase the size of my pecs, that goes away. So reduce body fat and increase chest tightens the skin up and removes that little wrinkly skin flap that happens that I don't like. Okay, just being honest with you, just being transparent. So for me, this would be the same thing possibly for this gal, is doing exercises that would grow the muscle, would tighten the skin. And if it's skin that we're talking about, well, you can't really do that much about skin other surgically, and a very few things with collagen and that kind of stuff, but it's small. So, but increasing and tightening the muscle, and it will actually allow that to possibly tighten up. Okay. So now here's the worst thing though, is that if this was a body fat reduction goal, these exercises are not necessarily like, you going through this workout might burn 500 calories. Let's say, really, like, that's stretch, but let's say it does burn 500 calories. The burning of the calories has a better chance of you losing your armpit fat than the actual exercises that you did, unless you were specifically doing it to tone and shape the muscle underneath, which would tighten the skin and give that appearance. Does that make sense? Okay, so the next thing would be sexy outer thighs. And here again, like, a lot of times what happens in the fitness world, especially in like group classes, is we add a whole bunch of exercises in because, quite honestly, the most effective ones done over and over again would be extremely boring from a group X standpoint. Okay, even in a boot camp scenario like what we do in HIIT training, there's very few completely effective exercises to maximize your time in the gym. And the inside, outside, toes pointed in, toes pointed out, the wide stance, narrow stance, they don't necessarily target any one particular area, although they sometimes feel like they do, which is why you can pass it off to a group class and everybody's like, oh, my outer thighs are just burning. Well, the truth of the matter is, if you did a perfect squat, all four heads of the quadricep are actually working together and working its best, the most efficiently. And the best example for that would be if we take it back into the bodybuilding world and into like chest press. A chest press is horizontal adduction. The insertion is your humerus. The origin is your sternum. Okay. And as you go across, the angles that all the fibers align are straight horizontal adduction. Now, trainers decided, hey, I'm kind of bored training my clients, or, like I should focus on my upper chest. So they added in an incline. Well, an incline press isn't any better of a chest press. It's just worse. So it's not any better of an upper chest. It's just a worse overall chest exercise movement, because now you're bringing in upper chest fibers and anterior deltoid. Okay, so you have a crossover between two muscles that do this movement versus the one that does this movement. So in a perfect chest world, you would actually do your 12 or 16 sets if you're advanced and perfect horizontal adduction for maximum benefit. But guess what? That's boring. And that's why most people won't do it. So what they do is they break up a chest press, a fly, an incline, a cable fly. They add all these extra exercises because they just feel different and they break the monotony. Now, here again, is there anything wrong with it? No. If it allows you to get excited about your workout so that you're not bored, you're going to train harder. If you know that you have to go in and do 10 sets of bench press, you're probably not as fired up to go to the gym to do that. But if you know that you're going from this side of the gym to that side of the gym to that movement to that exercise, you're feeling a little bit better about the overall time that you spend in the gym. You may not know that it was any less effective, or like the intensity might improve the whole process, so it might actually be more effective. So that's the way it kind of all got out there. But if I was doing inclines, I would do it as a tie-in to get into my shoulder movements coming up so that they're nice and warm. So I'd be going from my chest press, and then since my anterior deltoids are starting to get a little bit fatigued due to fiber recruitment and my chest is getting exhausted, now I might go to an incline and start to tie in chest and anterior delt, and now I might go all the way into my overhead shoulder press and just focus, or anterior and just focus on shoulders. Like I might go into my lateral raises or whatever and just focus on deltoids because they're already partially worked. Okay. So that's just efficiency in your training, but that's not trying to spot train any one particular thing. How many people use this? I used to make a living off of this machine. Okay. This is the hip adduction, abduction. Okay. You guys are familiar? You guys seen it in the gym? Okay. Do you know who this is perfect for? Hockey players and athletes. Okay, because what we know about resistance training is a couple of different things. We know it does two things. So when I would see a person on this machine who was obviously overweight, I knew she was working outer thighs because she wanted her butt and thighs smaller. I would ask that person, what is your goal? And my guess was it was neither of these, because resistance training either makes you stronger or bigger. So I would say, oh, are you trying to get your butt bigger or stronger? What are you training for? And they would always look at me and say, smaller. Oh, well, now there's some people who are really fit who are trying to, grow their glutes, right? They want to grow their glutes. But for most of the people that I saw on that machine, they wanted to make it smaller. So if we do the exercises correctly, we're just going to make it stronger or bigger. So what's the point? And the calories that we would burn just doing the outer thigh exercises versus doing a full squat are probably 1/10. So I would rather have that person doing squats and burning way more calories using way more muscles than to use just the little IT band in the outer glute to try to focus on that movement. Okay, so that's a big one.